Hey Phooka fans, how are you doing out there? Well, it's finally here. The album of the century. It's nice little album, special edition with a booklet, with the lyrics and stuff and pictures of the band. And that first track there was obviously a bagpipe track, and the track was called The Traitor's Set. Track number 1, side 1, called The Traitor's Set. It's a set of four bagpipe tunes, a slow air called Traitor's Whim, leading into Traitor's Fancy, leading into Cut and Run, and then finishing with Paddy Kelly's Jig. Traitor's Set just refers to people not sticking with stuff and moving on, sort of thing. Anyway, that was the Traitor's Set, and that's track 1 on the new album. Friends, Relations and Lovers. You need to get it for Christmas. Anyway, here's the next track. Speak to you in a bit.
It's Saturday morning, I read your papers in bed. I'm sipping the warnings that you placed in my head. Now you're slipping away. You say you're not gonna stay. You had me running for rainbows and panning for gold, then burning the treasures, yes, that never gets old. Now you're slipping away. You say you're not gonna stay. I can't borrow no more tomorrows. Can I borrow back those tomorrows? Your signal is weak.
So that's obviously, well, not obviously, it's called No More Tomorrows. It's a breakup song, or it's a breakup song, featuring just the band on that one. I forgot to say, on the first track, track 1, Traitor's Set, we have Mr. Colin Henney on keyboards, like an organ sound, fantastically played. And he features a bit more as we go through the album. But that No More Tomorrows, that's our one of ours. And I also forgot to say about the first tune, I'm doing a piping tunes book, which those pipe tunes will be in it, and some of the tunes I'll mention it as we go along. It's going to be called Here You Play 'Em, meaning, yeah, you play these songs. It'll be like this, be one of these sort of things, you know. Bagpipe tunes for the pipers and drummers out there. There'll be some drum scores in it as well. So on to the next track, which is called Petticoats and Slags. Have a listen.
I have seen your petticoats with ribbons of red, gold and green. When you stand on the slags with them good-looking lads, shattering most of my dreams. Yes, I have seen your petticoats with ribbons of red, gold and green. When you stand on the slags with them good-looking lads, shattering most of my dreams. From Falmouth we sailed in the Witch of the Gale to haul us some coal from the Tyne. My dad was a man with a marrying plan, the coal merchant's daughter be mine. 6 years had had gone past since I saw that girl last. Away with the navy I'd been. Back then her heart was as black as the coal that she'd stacked. Now a woman I hope waits for me. Yes, I have seen your petticoats with ribbons of red, gold and green. When you stand on the slags with them good-looking lads.
And we're back in the room. So that was Petticoats and Slags, featuring Jonathan Jono Watts on fiddle from Leatherhat. He used to play with us in the Quiet Men years ago, and we had him in, and he played fiddle. And again, he appears on throughout the album, so I'll mention him as we go along. The song is about a boy meets girl when they're kids, sort of thing, and it's sort of arranged marriagey type thing. And the chorus came to me. I was at Falmouth. I was staying in Falmouth, and there was the Sea Shanty Festival on, and I think I woke up and it came to me in a dream. I know Paul McCartney did that. I never believed that it happened, but this one absolutely, the whole chorus was there, whether you subconsciously in slumber thinking about stuff, but the whole chorus, I woke up, wrote it down, and away we went. So that was that track. And the Petticoat Reel, which is in the middle of it, you can hear it there, just giving you clips, is also in this bagpipe book. So, but here's the next track. Have a listen to this. This is sublime. I'll tell you about it when we come out the other end. So there we had a wee snippet of Lost in the Woods, penned by our very own, the Phooka's own, Chris Gardner, and there's two tunes in the set there on melodeon or button accordion, and the second one is Crow Stealing Peanuts. But it is such a great track. We've got Colin Henny on keys, just chinkling along. It's beautiful, and the production, I haven't mentioned that yet. The production by our very own, the Phooka's own, Mr. Steve White from Big Boy Studios in Witney. The whole album to me is superbly produced, but this track, the atmosphere in this track is superb. Get it in the car, get it on your big stereo. It's just beautiful. Beautiful track. Recommend the album for this track alone, as well as the fantastic song. Of course I'm biased. But anyway, here's the next track. Have a listen.
You sailed away, and it wasn't with me. I stood alone and watched the sea. You sailed away, I watched you go, caught the last kiss you'd ever blow. You sailed away, and it wasn't with me. How could we know we'd never be. You sailed away and I watched you go. You said our love could only grow. No marching band, your waving hand, the notes I held, that ship so grand. Your face was clear, your hair looked well, the tears were real, how deep I fell. You sailed away, and it wasn't with me. You kissed me neath that gallows tree. You sailed away, you were gonna come home. You always said you'd marry me.
So that was Sailed Away, a track that was on a previous EP of ours where we resurrected it. I think Steve has tweaked it a bit in the studio, but it features Larry Fortson, our good friend from the good old US of A, on uilleann pipes, Lodi whistle and whistle, I think. And it's boy meets girl, but can't really, you know, the old unrequited love thing, Catholic and Protestant, set 100 years ago. It's from a book I'm writing, taking forever, 10 years now, about this couple and how they get through this. You have to read the book and listen to the song. It's a great song, and it's, again, well produced and got some great touches on it. Well worth the, again, buying the album just for that. Anyway, here's the next track, and I'll see you on the other side. Cheers.
Please walk back through that open door without ever really knowing what you want to do. I'll be nailing those feet to the floor, 'cause your leaving only ever made me blue. And you're feeling those feet more and more. Through your eyes I'd love to see how you always think you know the score. Are you ever gonna let me be? But then someone broke that window, point the finger, and I'll love you forever, and I will always see you as a savior. But I'll love you forever, just bring your boat in from the sea.
So that was called Open Door. It started out as it's a sad song about, well, in my head it's about people not speaking for one reason or another, and getting back, or wish they'd spoken before it was too late, type of song. Anyway, it's a nice little ditty, very well produced, again by Steve, and it features John O. Watts again on fiddle, and that brings us to the end of side one in Old Money, but obviously there's no side ones inside, so it's just in my head. And on the album we've got side one and side two in the old, because when we get picked up by a big corporate, we'll obviously have it on vinyl. So that's the end of part one. Here's side one. Here is the first track of side two. Have a listen. I'll speak to you on the other side.
I met an old girl in the bar yesterday. She bought me a drink for the old times. Now we talked of our old fights, then we put the world to rights. I assure you my memory's as good as. Now she drank like a fish and she ate like a hog. She gargled on garlic and whiskey, but she scratched like a cat and she bit like a dog. And the scars make my memory as good as. Yeah, but we've all had memories we'd rather forget, of friends, relations and lovers. All that drinking don't empty your head. I assure you my memory's as good as. These days I'm at an artist of quite some repute. She said.
So there we have the title track of the album, Friends, Relations and Lovers. It's a live track, something I've always wanted to do since I heard, as a little kid, my grandmother had what's it called, Black Velvet Band by the Dubliners, and I always liked that live sound, and I always wanted to do one like that, so did that. Friends, wrote it a long time ago with the Quiet Men, just to break up the between dances in the Cayley band there, so we got something else to play, and it was live at Saun Castle in Ayrshire, near Ayr. Lovely castle. We were playing at a wedding, and it was our live track and our title track of the album. I think the song after John, the drummer's kick drum pedal felt a bit, so luckily we got that one in the can before that happened. So that's Friends, Relations and Lovers, and it's just an obvious thing. It's stories you might want to forget about, things that have happened with friends and relations and lovers, and all the drinking doesn't work. It's still there. So that was that one, and here's the next track. Have a listen to the next track. This is another classic track. It's from the pen of Mr. Steve White, our producer here, and strings player. Although I think he plays drums on this, he was a drummer, or is a drummer. And I could be wrong. I'll check it out on the notes between. And I'll see you on the other side. Sparky White's Jig. That's again, as I said, Steve White's tune, a jig that he composed. 8 parts, 8 different parts, some key changes. Features Colin Henny again, John O'Watts, and this time on small pipes, Scottish small pipes, pipe major Stephen Duffy of the Scots Guards Association, ex-Scots Guards. Good old friend Steve. Again, played with us in the when we were all in the Quiet Men Cayley band, and Steve wanted everybody on that track, and it was about his beloved dog, or I say about, it was named after his beloved, the family dog, Sparky, and we now move on to the next track. Have a listen, and I'll see you on the other side.
I want to live with you and die with you. All the spaces in between I'll share with you. Oh, what could go wrong? I've known you for so long. All the spaces in between, I love you. Yeah, I want to live with you and die with you. All the spaces in between, between I'll share with you. Oh, what could go wrong? I've known you for so long. All the spaces in between, I love you. I knew that when I saw your face across that empty room, we wouldn't be apart another day. You smile away the sadness, you laugh away the gloom.
So that was All the Spaces. All the Spaces, obviously a love song. And I wrote it hopefully that one day it'll become a first dance at a wedding. That's the idea of it. About a couple getting together and never wanted to be apart. It features Colin Henny on keys, lovely tinkly electric piano type sound on that, and again well produced by Stevie. And on to the next track. Track number 4 on side 2. This is The Digger's Ticket, or Digger's Ticket. A few years ago, I was on my way to, or just before I left for do some gigs in America with Larry Fortson. I played at a funeral where one of the mourners had told me about, she was an anthropologist and she had been repatriating some mass grave bodies from a World War I grave in Belgium. I think it was Belgium. It was a mass grave of 110 Australian troops, and they found some artifacts, and one of the artifacts was a ticket that was never used, a return ticket to Fremantle, Australia. They'd obviously got on the boats and sailed off to. They'd actually done Gallipoli, then Europe, and it's just it came into my head, and I got to America, and I was in the wrong time zone. I sat up in bed and wrote this song, and me and Larry finished it off and played it over there on the radio and at gigs, and it's one of my faves just for its content. It's poignant. So again, well produced by Stevie at Big Bush Studios. So buy the album and have a listen. That's the idea. Anyway, listen to this next track, and this is The Digger's Ticket.
So we all signed our names and climbed aboard the trains, ever to dream we'd soon be coming home. With his shilling in my hand, we marched behind the band until we found ourselves a ship and left Australia. So we all signed our names and climbed aboard the trains, ever to dream we'd soon be coming home. With his shilling in my hand, we marched behind the band until we found ourselves a ship and left Australia. Before we came upon dry land, I'd lost that shilling in a hand. I'd bet that we would not be there for long. Sergeant Bennett didn't agree, and a spade he gave to me, and we tried to dig our way back to Australia. Fire away, we'll not be here to stay. We're shooting through for the red, the white, the blue. But among those gnarly roots, they found my tackety boots and my ticket out of here and home to you.
So that was Digger's Ticket. And we now move on to track number 5 on side 2. This is a track called Down Some Roads. was originally written, I used to say this to people a lot, well, you don't have to go down some roads, if they were going down a path that led to nightmares or drama. And at the same time, I was writing it, I think we lost Amy Winehouse, and she went down some roads, so I sort of dedicated it to Amy Winehouse. It's one of my fave tracks, also again produced by Stevie really nicely. Have a listen. To me, Stevie's guitar on it is superb. It reminds me of Christmas. There's a part in the you might not hear it because we're just doing some clips. Just sounds like Christmas. It's great. Just the sparkly sound he's got on the guitar. Have a listen. It's Down Some Roads. It's a bit of a doo-wop sort of type of feel to it. Here we go.
No shoes, you drag no comb, free a dreamer running home, like waves roll through the sand, a drifter through my hands, like lonely rivers flow. I should never let you go, only you.
So that was Down Some Roads, and we move on to the final track. It's a 12-track CD album, a nice little booklet. Obviously we've got the actual article itself and the wee booklet. It's downloadable on Bandcamp. It's you can get hard copies from Chalkies and Bandcamp itself, and message us if anybody wants one. We've got them here, obviously. And we move on to the final track. I'll just tell you who's on the album. It's John Buxton on drums, Gary Warmington on bass guitar, Chris Gardner on melodeon, button accordion, Steve White on strings, a little bit of drums, and obviously the production, Big Boy Studios there in Whitney, and I'm singing and playing pipes. We've got Colin Henney, obviously keyboards throughout, plays a lot of top acts. We've got John O. Watts from Leatherette. We've got Steve Duffy, pipe major, Scots Guards Association, ex-Scots Guards, and Larry Fortson, all the way from good old US of A. He is on that track. Sailed Away on uilleann pipes and whistles. And here we go for the last track. It's called Man of Your Dreams. It's our usual finale piece at the gigs. Hopefully this album was sort of run like a gig. And it features a solo from everyone. And it's a good end to the track. Hope you enjoy it. Hope you purchase it for posterity. And we'll see you at a gig. Like I say, below will be the links to the where you can purchase it. All the best. We'll see you. Thanks very much. Thanks for listening.
It's funny how it seems you're in love with me now. I'm falling apart at the seams. And it's funny how it seems you're in love with me now. I'm playing the man of your dreams. Yeah, it's funny how it seems you're in love with me now. I'm falling apart at the seams. And it's funny how it seems you're in love with me now. I'm playing the man of your dreams. You say I don't cramp in your style. You always arrange me that smile. Forever the same, come shine or come rain, you're on fire. It's funny how it seems you're in love with me now.